May the grace and the peace of God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ be with each and every one of you as I welcome you again to another morning devotion. This is your couple Joe right here on the Homebase Ministries network. Good morning to the evangelist Extra Friday, Sambri Della Rosa, and to all of you listening in, to Pastor Earl Richardson and the Enrock family. May God bless each and every one of you as we proceed in the book of Ezekiel chapter 17 from verses 17 this morning. And Ezekiel continues after saying that the consequence of breaking the oath or covenant to the king of Jerusalem was to die in the kingdom of Babylon, that the king of Egypt with his army and all of his skill in war will not be able to rescue the king of Jerusalem. There is no method of warfare he could use to rescue him from the Babylonians. Verse 18, giving this reason which we are familiar with, saying, seeing he despised the oath by breaking the covenant, this act must be paid for. It is not taken, spoken, or looked at lightly. Breaking the oath and the covenant is a serious thing. Ezekiel writes that because of these things he shall not escape. There is a level of transgression that requires a payment. As a matter of fact, as I remind you again, no broken oath or covenant will be tolerated without consequence. Verse 19, so God then pronounces further reminder and punishment, and he says that surely, meaning that what he is about to say will be inevitable, that for breaking his oath, the oath between himself and Israel and his covenant that he hath broken, even it, speaking of the act, he says that he will recompense on his own head. The retribution is sure. Verse 20, Ezekiel continues to narrate on behalf of God, who says that he will plead with him there for his trespass, that he had trespassed against him. In other words, it will be sorted out there at Babylon. Now, the thing about all of this, seeing that many people like to give credit to the enemy is that God reveals the fact, as he has always done, that he had spread his net upon him and was taken in his snare, which the end result was the captivity in Babylon. So the actual binding oath and covenant was inspired by God for the purpose that it will be broken, so Israel will be dealt with. It was all God's plan and his doing. Don't think for a moment he was caught by surprise or he found out when it was done. God really is responsible for every minute act for his will and purpose to be accomplished. Even when we end up in captivity or bondage or oppression, we tend to not expect our disobedience to have consequences. Maybe it's being naive, or maybe we are really in denial of our own faults and continue to lay blame everywhere else than with ourselves. Verse 21, Ezekiel then writes that those who had escaped the captivity and carrying away of the king of Babylon will die by the sword, meaning by violent means, and that remain, they shall be scattered towards all the winds, meaning in every direction, so they will be lost and destitute. And when that occurred, they will know that it was his doing, the Lord, not the enemy. They will know because they will recognize that it happened as he said it will happen, and so everyone else, speaking of the people today. Beloved, every event that is taking place on this earth right now is purposed by God. By his hand, he is the architect of it all. Even when things are assessed personally in our lives, it is by his hand they take place. Now today I want you all to learn from this, that you can be put into a situation because of your disobedience. That will be a trap set for you to be considered for your punishment. Do not break your agreements or covenants. It will not work out well for you. And remember, stop passing blame. Because the truth is, who is held accountable for your actions? Is it the enemy that you so love to point fingers at, or it will be you? Alright, ask yourself that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is Pastor Solomon Della Rosa in God's grace.